So today we are going to make a simple CRUD application, that is create, retrieve, update and delete, and this will be made on CodeIgniter PHP framework. So we assume that you are aware of HTML, the PHP, some idea of jQuery and JavaScript also. This kind of application is now used everywhere in college system, student attendance, everywhere. This is now the household stuff. So you must be aware of what exactly and how easily you can make this kind of application using CodeIgniter. This is home, so you can see the title, content and the action, and you can even add news. Say I'm adding my news and some content, news. Say create new item, news added successfully. I go to home, I see that I have just added the my news or me news. Now what you can do is you can view, you can delete. You have just created something, you are not interested in it, just delete it. Okay. You want to edit something, I've made a spell mistake. Okay, let us add it. So you can edit it also. This kind of application can be easily made on CodeIgniter. So we have a very good tutorial. Let me introduce you first with the CodeIgniter. So you just have to go to the whichever search engine you like and type download CodeIgniter, right? Once you download this CodeIgniter, and you'll be surprised to know this is a very strong framework, and this is costing only 2.5 MB. The size is only 2.5 MB. This is open source, so this is free available to you. If you want 2.x, I will suggest you to go for 3.x and just download CodeIgniter. Once you download it, it will start downloading, and it is just 2.5 MB. See, the size is only 2.5 MB right now. The version is 3.1.5. Maybe later on when you will be downloading, you might get some other version. So don't be worried about that. Meanwhile, this is downloading. Let me take you to the CodeIgniter website and then the user guide, then tutorial. Please mark this URL because we'll be using this a lot. Actually, we'll not be using this. We'll be using an advanced version of this. So the tutorial is very good. It says what kind of static pages you can make, new section, and create new items, conclusion. So whatever the tutorial is, we are going to follow it today. Then these are the static pages you need to make. We are installing the framework, so it is going on. It is being downloaded, and then wherever what you have to write, it is given very clearly. So I assume and I hope that you'll go to this CodeIgniter user guide tutorial and read it, and then you can find exactly how this framework works and how it makes your life so easy, and you can make your software in no time, in web application website in no time. So this is all content. And before I go ahead, let me tell you that there is a website, or there is a blog actually called Chapagan, and this Mukesh Chapagan blog, and what is being done is the article is continuation of the basic tutorial present in the official CodeIgniter site. So we have just seen the official CodeIgniter site, and the extension of this guy has made, and very good content, because this is actually working. I've checked it, verified it, and we are going to do this today. And this code has come from your CodeIgniter.com only, so it's legible also and credible also. So the most important thing about this blog is he has also given download source from Git Hub or GitHub. So let me go to the download of this Git Hub of this code, and we'll be taking this code and I'll be telling you how to use this code or how to employ this code in a CodeIgniter framework to get an application like this, right? So you can just easily go to this GitHub. It is already there, and you can just download it, download a zip. So let it download, and so you have to do two downloads. First is your CodeIgniter. Second is the GitHub content of this blog. If anyhow you are not able to get any of these, as I suggested, I've already given everything in the description. So let us start. So we have two downloads here. First is your CodeIgniter, second is your CodeIgniter CRUD simple master, like this. So in CodeIgniter, let us first extract it, and let me extract it this also, which we have downloaded. This is the code which will be making our application. So let it extract. Okay, these two are extracted. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take or rename this CodeIgniter, or let me copy it or cut it and paste it in my www folder. That is, I'm using WAM server, so I have to take it to the www directory and I have to paste it. So this CI folder was already there. I'm going to delete it. Why? Because I've already shown you that application running. So let me paste this CodeIgniter here, and then you see this CodeIgniter. Let me show you what is inside. Inside CodeIgniter, you'll find CodeIgniter 3.1.5. Inside this, you have all these files: application, system, user guide, etc. So the best thing is to rename it. So let me rename it to a simple CI. Okay, and place it where? In the www folder. Okay, so let me delete it. So I just have a CI folder, that is my CodeIgniter folder, and these are the files. So first thing you have to do is you have to download the CodeIgniter and just rename it to CI, and this is your stuff. Let me go to my notepad, and because it was already there, let me just say no, because I want everything new. Let me close everything so that everything should be new to you, because we are doing it from the scratch. What we are going to do here is we are going to add what we have just downloaded. This is the CodeIgniter CRUD simple master. So in this we have a database.sql. We'll make a database, and we have application. Inside we have config, controller, model, views. These are the 4 folders you'll get. These are the 4 folders. So let us go to our CI, and in this CI, let us go to because we are in the web server now, and this is what we have just downloaded, that the content from the Chapgain blog, and this content is exactly similar to the CodeIgniter tutorial, so we can rely upon it. Config routes.php. Go to application, see where config is. You have routes.php. So what I can suggest you, let me show you what exactly is there in config. So there are 2 methods. Either you can replace this file with this, or you can just add this code to the end of this CI file. So let me just copy and paste it. Means I am replacing my CodeIgniter route with the application route. So this first task is done. Second, I go to the controllers, and in the CodeIgniter or CI, I'll find where that folder is, where controllers is. So this is the controller. Inside CI application I have controllers. In this controller you'll find some 2 files, but my interest is I want to run the application, so let me copy it and paste it here. I'll explain you all the code explain, don't worry about that. Let me just copy them first. Then we'll go to the models. We also have one file, news_model. So let me go to the models folder now, and in the model folders let me copy this news model. Okay, we are copying the application which we have downloaded from the blog to our CodeIgniter. Then we go to views. We have 2 folders. One is news. We have around 5 files here, and then we have another folder which is called template. This is for header and footer. In every page you want everything to be seen properly in the similar manner. So I'll take these news and templates, copy them, both the folders. I'll try and find out where the view is. So in the application you find views at the last folder, and I'll paste it. So now let me tell you again, in our CodeIgniter, we are in the web server. In our application, first we copied in the config our routes, then in the controller we copied news.php, then in the models we copied news model.php, and finally in views we copied two folders, news which has 4 PHP files and templates which are 2 footer and header. Okay, this work is done. Now what we have downloaded, this application which is from the blog, it contains a database.sql file. So let me open this database SQL file, and you see here that the database name, this is the create database. So a database will be created which is called as test. There will be a folder called news, and inside we have ID, title, slug, that is the content by which we are going to go along, and we have a primary key called ID, also text, some text also, and then we are inserting two values, inserting two entries, that is 2 records will already be inserted. So let me change it, test CRUD. This I am doing just to show you that this has come from our execution right now, test CRUD. Let me save it. So how you are going to make the database, it is quite simple. Let me save it. What you have to do is, you have to go to the PHP MyAdmin. How you are going to go there? Once you have installed WAM server, just go to the PHP MyAdmin and you will come here. To go to the database, I have username as root, password nothing. So let me go inside. I already have a test here. So let me delete it for you because I've already done it once. Let it go to operations and drop the database. You don't have to do this because you'll be doing it anyway for the first time. So I don't have any database called test, and I'll be making a database called test here. So what is the procedure? You can do in two ways. First, you can go to SQL. You can just copy this content which you have got in the database.sql. You can just copy this stuff and run it. Or there is another method. One method is copy this, paste it here, and run. Only go. Say go. The other method is, let me clear it because you must be aware of both the methods. You can import. You can just say import, choose file, and you are going to choose which file. You are going to choose the database file. So let me copy this path, paste it here, and let me go to that database.sql. Okay, now say go. So after executing this SQL file, you see we have a database called test here. This database has a table called news, and this news has 4 columns. In this we already have a data, and we just saw that this data is what we have added. So to insert is also executed simultaneously. Now we are ready with the database, we are ready with the code, and there are few configurations we have to make. So let me add this project to my Notepad++. So I'll just say file, open folder as workspace, and I'll go to this CI folder, right? Because I want this to be shown, each and every file to be shown here. I'll just show you every file. Let me copy this path in the Notepad++. I want to add or browse the folder. Let me paste it here and say OK. And you will see that this has come. This CI has come. So this CI which we have made, all the content can be seen here now. Okay, let me start from the scratch. I hope you followed from where we copied everything. We will go to config, see autoload. You don't need to do anything in the autoload. Go to config, and you have to say the base URL. So the base URL, as you see, that my local host has this URL. I'll show you the URL. because it may change depending upon the circumstances. If I go to this page where I showed you example running, this is my base URL. After this everything comes, right? Localhost, then CI. So let me copy till here. You should have a trailing backslash. You should have this. Let me copy this path and paste it in the base URL, and you'll see HTTP will come by itself. So you have to change. The first thing you have to do is you have to write this your base URL, because after this only everything will come, because index.php will come from our application, CI will come from our application, this news will come from our application. This is your base URL. Once this is done, you have to go to the database PHP. Now database PHP, you have to change certain things. Why? Because the host name is localhost, the username for our MySQL is root, and the password is nothing, as I just showed you how I entered into my MySQL PHP admin. Then the database name is test, as I just showed you. We made a database called test, and other things let it remain like this. So I've just changed root, and if you have any password there in the MySQL, you can give the password here, and the database name is test. So this also is completed. So config change, database change, then routes. I don't have to change anything on the routes, because I've already replaced and copied routes.php from our application. Okay. Now let me show you first the controller. In this we have copied a file called news.php. So what is going on here? In the news we have extended it from CI controller, and we have a constructor which is calling news model and URL helper. So the model and helper will be loaded. Then we have index, so everything which goes in index.php will be run here. So we have get news, title will be news archive, and then this code is directly taken from the CodeIgniter tutorial website. But what it is showing is view. It is showing you the header, the footer, and the index.php inside. Whenever your first page will run, your application will run, you have header, footer, and inside this you have news, index.php. As you can see here, that you have index.php and then you have news. Exactly what we are trying to do here. Okay. Then we have view. In this view function, wherever it will be called, it will call for slug, the name, and then if the data is empty, it will show data empty. Otherwise, same stuff. This news view will be shown here. The data will be passed in this. The data will be passed in this, and the view will be shown. I'll show you this view we have already made in views. Then a create. So we are using the helper and library. These are already available to you by CodeIgniter. So we are validating whether you have written something in the title or text or not. If it is not, then there will be a problem, because you will not be able to save it. And then once this is done, you can just set news through your news model, and then header, this news success, and footer. Then edit. If you want to edit, then you have to again go to this form validation. You want to edit by, say, ID. So just by ID you can edit whatever contents, you title or text you want to change. And then finally you will have this delete. You want to delete certain thing. So depending upon the segment 3, that is this slug, you are trying to delete with respect to the ID. And once this is deleted, or once this is updated, you will go back to your original screen or original page. This is what this redirect base URL is doing. You might be watching here that base URL is being called. That is why we set this base URL in the config.php file. Okay, now controller is also done, config is also done. Let us go to the model. So these are the model. We have added a file called news_model.php. Let me open it for you. In this, you see we have a constructor. So we are adding the database manually. This is very important. If you don't load your database, nothing will be seen. Then get news. This is a function get news from database. It will, wherever you find this news, it will be adding into the query, and that will be shown to you. Get news by ID with respect to some ID means number of news will be there. Depending upon the ID, it will fetch the news. And then set news, depending upon the ID, the new news will be set. And delete news, of course, if you want to delete, it will, depending upon the ID, the news will be deleted. Right? So model is also done. Let us come to the views. In views, there is templates, so we don't. There's nothing to talk about this because it's copyright 2016. Let me change it to 2017 now. So it will show every page will have a footer like this, and every page will have a header like this. So you just have to save this. See, this star is there. So every time you change something, you have to save. In this also. So I'll save everything before actually executing the code. Then header. Every code will have this on the header part. You can change. You can write anything you want here. Okay. Copyright tutorial. Say CRUD. Write CRUD here. Okay. This is done. Now the most important thing in whole execution or whole thing is views. Views, inside views we have a news folder which we just copied. So we have a create, edit, index.php. This is your heart. This is your index.php because this is the everything will be going through index.php only. Then success and view. So let me open index.php. Index.php is showing nothing. It is just fetching the content. You already have a header and footer, so don't worry about that. And inside that, every news item will be shown with title and text. So you'll see all the contents here, right? So you will see three buttons here. See, let me show you. These are the three buttons, or not button exactly. These are the hyperlinks which will take you to particular news item ID and particular page from where you can edit, view, and delete. So this is how it is done. This is index.php. This is actually index.php file. Now let us go to the create. If you want to create, that means you want to add this. If you click this, if you want to add, then you have to go to the create one. So you are just adding. You are adding title text and you are just saying submit button. You'll go to this form will be opened. News create, and you already have made this create.php. Right, and then we have edit. If you want to edit something, you are going to edit. This is the content. You are going to news edit, and depending upon the ID, you will be adding. This is the title text and just submit button. Then you have success. I think success. We have written nothing. Just if your work is completed successfully, this content will be shown. Then view.php. In this view, you will be seeing this title and text. News item, title and text if you want to see a particular news. So I hope you got what I've been explaining you by now. Let me reiterate again that if you lost anything while discussion, then I have already a file which I'll be showing you, or let me show it for you. So this is the file. This is the file, CodeIgniter working example. This file I'll be placing in the description. So everything is given here. If you missed anything, everything will be given here. Now let me save everything what I've done and close. I'm just closing because I want to be sure that I've saved it. If I'm not saved, then it will ask for saving. Routes, database SQL, autoload, config. And yes, see, I have to save this. Otherwise, base URL wouldn't have come. Save, then database, routes, news, view, and this already, So now we are done with all the copying and setting of the configuration. Now we are going to run the application. For that, you have to go to localhost. Then /CI because CodeIgniter is in CI. Then we have to go to index.php because from there only news can be achieved. And then let me just go up till here. You'll see an error was encountered because we have not yet reached to news. Index.php is not going to show anything. Then news. news, and let me say enter. So whatever we have done has come here. Now you can view this. Now you can just delete it. Now you can edit it. Now you can add news, say new news. Okay, anything you can write. It's up to you. Create news item. And this copyright 2070 has been changed. So this is how we can make a simple CRUD application using your CodeIgniter. This CodeIgniter you can get easily from CodeIgniter website. They have a very good and self-explaining tutorial which we have actually taken. This is the code which we have taken, but this code has some extra feature, and properly we can download it from this website or blog. You can go to GitHub. You can get GitHub this code from GitHub, and now by following what I have suggested you can make a CRUD application. So I hope this is understood. Thank you so much. Any query, any questions, you can just post. I'll be glad to answer them. Thank you so much.